I went all in on this one.
I'm so scared, which is ridiculous.
I lost, I think, about at least 4 months of my business towards the end of 2022 and at the start of 2023. Maybe I'm the one that has chronic dissatisfaction. Maybe I'm the one that just needs to get a job and just accept life as it is. I don't know. I don't know where my business is going to be in the next year. And I'm just about to make my next investment. I've got a client who made $6,000 in her first month. I've got a client who hit 3K months and never thought that was going to be possible. It means a lot more than any of my corporate jobs ever did. Even though they were meaningful, I still want to build something massive. I still want to hire people. There's so many things that I want to do. I'm going places and I'm taking all of my clients with me, and I don't know what that means. Exactly a year ago today is when I incorporated this business. It's been insane. It's been like nothing I've ever experienced in like my work career. I can't even articulate the journey that you go on when you start a business. I want to give you my top lessons from having this business for a year. And this business has been completely different to any of my other businesses because I went all in on this one. So it feels different, but it's also been my most successful business, the highest income business. It just feels different because of going all in, and I want to tell you what my top lessons are. So I'm going to let them come out organically and naturally because I didn't want to script something which is my story and my life journey. Let's see what comes out. A year ago, I incorporated this business. I was still in a job. I was still in a global job, a very intense job in terms of the amount of work that I needed to do and the amount of kind of thinking capacity. So around that job and every weekend, I was like building content. I was creating videos, I was making posts, I was studying my positive psychology certification. And I also had Lucas, who was about 16 months old, 17 months, I don't know. He was young anyway. And so still very tired, still kind of broken sleep. I also wasn't feeling well, but I was really just dedicated to doing this and I wanted it more than anything. And I watched a video of myself because I keep a video journal, and I watched a video from a year ago, last October, and I'm just crying in my dressing room. And I'm saying all the things that my clients say to me, like, who's gonna pay me? And you know, what if it doesn't work out? And what if I need to go back into a corporate job?
I know that I need to try because this is what I want to do. I'm so scared, which is ridiculous because I'm in such a good position. I've got money that I can use if I need to. I can get another job in February if I need to.
It seemed so alien to me that I could create a business in coaching when I hadn't done anything like that before. Even though I had an e-commerce business and even though I had a fitness business, it just felt really, really alien and scary. The fear was just like way too much. So I went on this complete roller coaster, and every night I lay there just filled with self-doubt and filled with, you know, upsetting thoughts about if this fails, what will I do? So I was in a really negative place, but I ploughed on anyway, obviously, like I always seem to do. I always seem to find the strength and resilience to keep going. So I just made a start, and I decided in the October that I was going to start charging. The first thing I had to do, and we're just crying. The first thing I had to do was to incorporate my business, which felt very real and very out there. And then at weekends, I was working on my business, and in the week I was working for one of the big record labels, you know, doing what I've done for the last 15 years. And I was in a really privileged place because myself and Paul, my other half, like high income, our house is sorted, we don't have any debt. So we were in such a privileged place compared to other people, and I was experiencing that level of fear, and I can't imagine what other people really experience. That's what I did, and I signed my first one-to-one client and signed 2 people into my group within about 8 weeks of incorporating and working on it kind of 1 or 2 days a week, which is how I created the first lead magnet that I got, which is how I made $3,000 in 3 days with less than 300 followers. And that was from starting a group. I sold it to 2 people who joined and 1 person who actually never ended up joining. So my first group had 2 people in it and should have had 3. It felt good to have 2 people in a group and a one-to-one client, but also it felt bad because I hadn't managed to launch a group of lots of people. But I also knew that some big influencers and multimillionaires had launched groups with 1 person. So I was like, you know what, I'm doing better than they did. So I have to kind of accept the fact that I'm starting out and I have to have that resilience to keep going. My very first lesson, it doesn't matter what your starting place is, even though it feels really just crappy, and you judge yourself and you don't feel good enough sometimes when you don't sell out an offer. But you have to have the resilience to keep going, because now I have a group that has, there's 8 of us building our businesses together. I have 3 more people interested that I'm talking to next week, and it's only been going a couple of months, and I didn't even actively sell in one of those months either. So now I have a really vibrant community and I'm helping people, but it took me a little while to get there. So lesson 1 is you keep going. You keep going regardless of how you feel about the judgment of yourself and the shame and the feeling like you're not good enough, and you accept that you are just starting out and that your business is a baby. There's someone I met on my positive psychology certification who's a photographer, Shan Fisher. She said to me, your business is a baby and you can't expect it to walk and talk when it is just a baby. So we need to kind of learn the ropes. I delivered this group and then I lost my voice. So I had planned to start a podcast. I'd planned out my intro, downloaded music, I'd planned my first 10 episodes, I'd invited people to speak, and then I lost my voice, and I lost my voice for about 4 months and was just chronically ill. So I had to deliver to this group, still work full-time until the December, while feeling really, really terrible all the time and overworking myself. I was at complete burnout. I was trying to look after Lucas, trying to do everything, trying to stay motivated, and it was really, really difficult. So I actually had to stop the majority of my lead generation until the following March, which was incredibly, incredibly difficult. And luckily for me, I still signed clients, I still had referrals through, I still got people through Instagram, and I still was working with people, and my clients were getting results as well. So I was still doing well, even though I was practically not working on my business. I could hardly speak, I was feeling really unwell, and I just had to keep going. So I lost, I think, about at least 4 months of my business towards the end of 2022 and at the start of 2023. But we move, right? So we got to December and I left my job and I had some downtime with my family. I started to scale activity up as I started to feel better, until I got to March and I decided to add another platform in. So I started working on LinkedIn and thought, I've had success through Instagram, my content's good, people tell me it's good, so I'm going to add another platform. I joined another group, so I was already in a mastermind of amazing women with 6-figure businesses, and I joined a LinkedIn group to kind of teach me how to work LinkedIn as fast as possible. Now, I'd already had experience with LinkedIn. I used to work in recruitment, so I kind of knew how it worked. My content was really good. I was actually considering working one-to-one with someone, but I decided to go into that group and just give it a try. And then I started generating leads from LinkedIn as well. And that kind of changed my business because I had multiple sources of traffic, which felt amazing. And I didn't really go all in on LinkedIn for a couple of months because, again, we had kind of childcare issues and illnesses and all kinds of things going on. But the moment I did, things really started to change for my business, just even more so. I'd gone from 0 to 3K months really quickly in the first 8 weeks. Then I hit 5K months with one-to-one client packages, so 5K one-to-one. And then I added a 10K product and just went straight to 10K months, right up until in August when I signed people into my new group program and resold to existing customers and made 17 grand in sales in August. So 10 months I went from nothing, scared, crying in my dressing room, still working a full-time job, to leaving a job, having to take 4 months off because I couldn't bloody speak, adding in a new platform, still working majorly part-time, and then hitting 17 grand in sales in August. If you had told me a year ago today, when I was kind of crying and upset and feeling like it was never going to work out, that I was gonna hit that, I never would have believed you. I still don't believe I can do it again, even though I know I can, and even though I teach people to. I know deep down that I can recreate it. You still get the fear and you still get the imposter syndrome, and it just doesn't go away, even though I've done loads of work on it, right? So it's a wild old journey. My second lesson is that you have to trust yourself and know that the money is coming if you put the work in. A lot of people say trust and trust the universe and manifest and all of this, but actually the more work you put in, the more you will get out. And it's really important that you know exactly what to do online. That's why I worked with coaches, that's why I joined a mastermind, that's why I joined a LinkedIn group, because I wanted to know exactly what worked and I wanted to know fast, and that's why my business has moved fast. I wasn't scared to invest in myself, but I do accept that I came from a privileged position of being able to invest as well, and some of us just don't have that, and we end up whacking those kind of investments on credit cards, which can feel really uncomfortable. So it's not for everybody, but you need to kind of learn what works online, which is lesson number 3. So 1 is resilience, 2 is trust that you will make it, and number 3 is learn what works, invest if you can. You need to absorb knowledge about sales and about lead generation and about closing and about booking calls and what works and how to automate and how to save time and how to create a really compelling offer and a great product and deliver great customer service. And it seems obvious, but it isn't. And when you're sat there alone crying, filled with self-doubt, like laying awake at night, procrastinating because you have no plan and you have no boss now telling you what to do, it's incredibly difficult. And that's why coaches are really valuable, because they give you accountability, but they also teach you what works, at least the good ones do. I don't know where my business is going to be in the next year, and I'm just about to make my next investment. So in the next 3 months, I need to decide what mastermind I'm joining, what coach I'm working with, whether I'm going one-to-one or whether I'm going into a different group. And I just don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm still accepting that I'm about to invest. So it's so important. You have to invest. At no point in the last year have I not had self-doubt. And I look extremely confident online. I'm very aware of that. People tell me I'm very confident. I have a lot of knowledge and experience. I do know what I'm doing. I absolutely do. I kind of know everything there is to know at the minute about what I'm doing and how to make money online. And when I go to conferences and when I watch the experts speak, they don't tend to tell me anything new. So I have this real kind of trust in myself and my own knowledge and my own credibility. However, I have still been filled with self-doubt every single day. Even in making this video, I feel like an imposter all the time. And I've done kind of child work on it, like child trauma work, I've done therapy on it, I've done CBT, like lots of different things, and it kind of goes away temporarily. But the moment I shift to a new level, the moment I meet new people, the moment I compare myself to a new set of people more specifically, I just feel this sense of being an imposter and like I'm not good enough and who's going to buy from me. And the way I reframe that is to think of my clients, and if I sit here thinking to myself, who's going to buy from me? What does that say about the people that have already bought from me? Like, they've already bought, they are happy, they've told me they're happy, they're getting results, and I absolutely love that. So of course I'm worthy of the sale, of course I'm worthy of being their coach and guiding them through this part of their journey. And so I reframe those thoughts by kind of really thinking about the people that have bought and what I've given them, and I lean into that service mode, that I am in service to those people and I'm about to help them, and I do help them. And you know, all of my clients get results by the time they finish working with me, which feels amazing. Like that 100% success rate is just, oh, I'm clinging to it for dear life. And the moment someone tells me they're not making leads and they're not making sales, I'm on them like straight away. I want to make sure that I have 100% success rate and that I can absolutely help everybody. Otherwise I need to do something different and give a different guarantee. So if you are filled with self-doubt, my next kind of lesson is to go into service mode and to think, how can you help people? Because it doesn't matter if you're just starting out in your journey and you're still learning. Actually, if you can help anyone, if you can help one person, then you are valuable, then your service is valuable, your product is valuable, your knowledge, the content that you create, as long as you are just helping people. So if you feel like an imposter and you feel like you're filled with self-doubt, just go into a place of, okay, how can I help my ideal customer today? What can I do for them? And the moment you do that, things will feel different, because that's all this is, right? When you've got a business, all we are doing is solving problems for people, and it's not about us, it's about them. And we have to stop being so self-indulgent, because I feel like self-doubt and imposter syndrome, it is very self-indulgent. It's you sitting there thinking about yourself and how you matter and, you know, all of the feelings that you have. And actually what I'm more concerned about is all of these people that I'm helping and how they feel and how I can change that for them. And it's not about me. And the more you make it less about you, the better you'll feel and the more results you'll get and the more your business will grow. That's just basic business science, right? I guess a special mention has to go to the friends I've made along the way. I would not be here without a community. So I joined a mastermind a year ago, and those women have helped me through this year in ways and kind of with things that I never ever expected. I expected to just talk about sales and marketing, and actually I've just ended up going to the deepest depths of my soul, crying in front of them, all kinds of things, and they've all really just helped me and lifted me up, and I made a really good friend out of it who I absolutely love, and I hope I get to work with her in a professional capacity. And then I joined another group and I made kind of a few more friends through that, and I talk to them every day, and that feels amazing as well. But before a year ago, I felt like I wasn't seen and I wasn't heard and I wasn't understood, and I felt like none of my friends got me because I'm always like, I have to start a business and I want to work at weekends and I want to climb the ladder and I want to make loads of money, and everything I was saying, it just didn't seem to resonate with the people around me, which then impacted my mindset, because I was like, maybe I'm the crazy one, maybe I'm the one that has chronic dissatisfaction. Maybe I'm the one that just needs to get a job and just accept life as it is, when actually I've known deep down for a really long time that this is the life that I'm supposed to be living and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Whereas now I have new reference points. So when I want to talk business and I want to talk money and I want to tell people about what I've got going on, I talk to my new business friends, which means I can compartmentalize my friendship groups. So I have my friendship groups who are there for me when I need them most, and I have deep relationships with, and I go out drinking with, and we kind of celebrate together, and they live around the corner from me and all of those amazing things. And then I have my community of business people who understand what I'm about and who I am and what I'm trying to achieve, and they can sympathise and empathise with parts of my journey that other people can't. So I now have this rich community where I have like two sets of people that serve different purposes, and they're both as valuable as each other, and I feel seen, I feel heard, and I feel understood, and I don't have to go to the wrong friendship group to talk about things that actually they're not interested in. So it's actually made my relationships really just rich and meaningful, but I also no longer feel alone, and my mental health is kind of better than it has ever been, because I have these new people and these new reference points, and it's just so valuable. So if you are in business and you often feel lonely and you don't have like business best friends, because that's what they are, you have to kind of go out there and get them and join groups and network and put yourself out there, ask people to go for lunch, ask people to go for coffees, and see what comes back. And it took me a while to make those kind of connections. It really did. I reckon it took me maybe a few months to scoop up my first kind of business friend, and then it took me, I don't know, 8 months to find the next few people. But I love them dearly and they mean everything to me, and whenever I want to tell someone something about business, like that's who I go to, aside from Paul obviously. So yeah, you need a community. So that's the next lesson. You've got to build a community, you've got to have friends in business, because they will be the difference between you failing and winning, quite frankly. They keep me in the game, but they also make me laugh, and I love them a lot. So what have we had? We've had resilience, we've had trusting, we've had learn what works, community. I forgot what the other one is because I'm a bit emotional. In the last year of this business, I was also voted one of the most inspirational and dynamic female entrepreneurs of 2023 by Small Business Britain, and I went to the House of Lords, which is just incredible, and I loved it. So that was an amazing experience. And actually 6 months before that, my e-commerce business, it was a finalist in the Startup Awards. That was really cool as well. I've been on Talk TV with Vanessa Phelps. We got our business and Paul featured in The Independent, which was really cool as well. I've been featured in some HR magazines and other kind of different like little press opportunities. I started a group that now has 7 or 8 of us. I can never remember what the number is. I've had like multiple one-to-one clients. I had one of my first clients create 10k months within a few months, and now she's gone on to kind of create 20k months for herself, which is just amazing to have been part of her journey. I've got a client who made 6 grand in her first month. I've got a client who hit 3k months and never thought that was going to be possible. I've just had a client who's about to hit 5k months, and she's only been in the program like 2 months. And these women are just smashing it, and I get to be a part of that journey, and I get to speak to them every day, and I get to be safe in the knowledge that I'm helping them create something really meaningful and change their life. And it's just, it's like, it means a lot more than any of my corporate jobs ever did, even though they were meaningful, even though I worked for like scientific companies and drug trial companies, like that were curing people. This for me personally means so much, and I can't thank everyone enough for playing a part in it, whether they believed in me, whether they've like sent me like messages, whether they've worked with me and kind of paid me, whether they've coached me, whether they've helped me, or whether they've just been the people at night to kind of tell me to keep going. It's just been like the most incredible thing, and I'm still scared, still fearful, still got imposter syndrome, still working on my mental health. I still want to build something massive. I still want to hire people. There's so many things that I want to do, but I'm still just me. I'm still the me from a year ago that was crying and scared and fearful and filled with self-doubt. But I'm going to prove to myself that I've done the right thing. I have done the right thing, and that I'm going places and I'm taking all of my clients with me, and I don't know what that means, but we'll see. So yeah, it's been a wild year. That's it really. I hope you've enjoyed a more real account of what business looks like. Here's to another amazing year in business.